Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we have a fantastic LEGO set to take a look at. This is the Fantastic Four vs. Galactus construction figure with 427 pieces. This set is 76316, retailing for $59.99, and is 9+. The box art is really nice with the Fantastic Four. Here are the figures in the set, which is Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and of course, Ben Grimm. Making our way up to the top of the box art, you can see we have Reed Richards, which is a 1-to-1 scale. Now here's a look at the back of the box, showcasing all the features of the set and one of the dynamic poses you can have all the figures in. And of course, the set has sun tabs, unfortunately. And opening on up, you can see we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 bags, along with instructions and a sticker sheet. Here's like the instructions on the set, which you can see is pretty generic, and with that code where you can scan your points to this LEGO set. The first figure we're going to take a look at is Reed Richards. Now, I just want to say that it's very special to be finally getting Fantastic Four in LEGO. It's fantastic.
Say that again?
Jokes aside, I'm not going to lie, this figure is a little bit disappointing. First of all, it doesn't have the stretchy arms that this figure should. I will say that the torso printing is really good to see. Here's like the back here. I do think that the face printing is not very accurate to the actual Reed Richards in this movie. I don't think it really looks like Pedro Pascal that much, but that's just me personally. And weirdly enough, it doesn't include the gray patches on his hair, and this is an existing LEGO piece. It's unclear why LEGO didn't include this. And there is an accessory for elongated legs, which looks really funky, and I'm definitely not the biggest fan of it. Moving on to Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman. Again, this is a very generic figure with the exception of that very fantastic torso printing. This is actually a variation different from Reed Richards. This one actually has the white collar. And here's a look at the accessory piece. Here's a look at the back of the head, which I think it looks like Vanessa Kirby enough. Now, here's the thing with this set. The thing is definitely the set's most controversial figure, and that is because it's just a normal minifigure. Even though the thing is a lot bigger than the other members of the Fantastic Four. And there's also the same generic legs, no boots, the same torso printing as Sue Storm, and a very nice molded headpiece. Here's like the face printing, which looks very nice, and you can see it is a kind of a weird choice of color. You'd think it'd be more orange, but now looking at it, this is a lot more accurate. Here's the gloves, which is very interesting. And taking a closer look at that molded cap, you can see under that it does have the eyebrows, which kind of looks a little funky, which I'm glad they included the cap to put on top. Here's a look at the other side of the face, and you can see the cap is just very, very nice. And interestingly enough, there's a white glove on this. I'm not sure why they didn't include the color of his hand. Now, this is a very strange figure because it definitely should have been his flame-on look. And it just doesn't make sense for him to have the fire pieces and him flying if he's not flamed on. There's nothing exclusive about this figure. It doesn't look like Joseph Quinn at all. The hairpiece is way too fluffy. And it's just not a very good figure. Nothing exclusive about it. But the torso printing is nice. And of course, there's some fire blast pieces that you can shoot off. And you can see there how that works. And there's also a attachment to the bottom of his legs to make it look like he's flying. Moving on to the build of Galactus, which is just fantastic. No, seriously, this is just amazing. Definitely my favorite part about this set. Here's it compared to the thing, and you can see it's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Now, here's it compared to the other construction figures, and it is quite a bit taller, which is nice. Take a look at the feet on this. It's really flat, which is kind of strange. Making our way up here, you can see the transition into blue and some foldable flaps for the kneecaps to be readjusted so you can bend his legs. Now, what you're meant to do on this is actually put a minifigure on this little stud here, and you can have him just standing on it, which is really cool. I also really like the way that they did the boots, how it's kind of textured off, and it's kind of scaled. And, of course, the legs that are posable with multiple points of articulation, just like the other construction figures. I will say that the skirt piece here, or the skirt pieces, limit his movement, and you can see that you flap these up. And it's just kind of really hard to move them around with this. And you can see here, like, you're going to have to... like, you're gonna have to, like, put the flaps up to move his legs out. And you can see there's some sticker detailing on the back, too. I really like those 3 black pieces for some design on the suit that he's wearing. And there is a ball joint connecting the upper half and the lower half. And this just looks phenomenal. I really love the way this entire thing was built. You can see there's some sticker detailing right there to represent his design on his chest emblem. And I really love the shaping of this torso all around. However, the shoulder pads are a bit iffy for me. I don't really like the way they sit on his shoulders. And these flaps are kind of strange because you have to put them up if you want to put his arms up. And of course, the arms are fully articulated, so you can move these back and forth along with the hands. You can just kind of rotate them. Of course, you can grip with the fingers. Again, I like the 1x2 cheese slips they used here. And there's some sticker detailing, which looks very nice. And of course, you can put a figure inside Galactus's hand. And you just kind of close that on up. Unfortunately, you can't really fully wrap his fingers around him, which is okay. It still kind of gives the effect, and it's just a really cool figure. There's multiple dynamic poses you can have with him. And on the back, which is very interesting, you have this piece, much like the Thor vs. Surtur set. You can kind of attach a figure on there and move them around. And you can also detach this whole entire section if you don't want that piece just flying around. But, of course, you can put Johnny Storm, who would fly up there. And I really love the way this looks. It's great for display. You just kind of have him floating behind. And, of course, you can have Galactus kind of looking behind him. And there's another place to put your minifigure here. We'll be putting the thing on again. And you can just kind of put him on there, sitting on his arm. You can have him look down. Now, the head itself is fantastic.
Say that again?
It just looks incredible, especially that print detailing, which just blows me away with the weight and all the detailing there. And the head itself, you can kind of just adjust these flaps here. Not sure why you would, but unfortunately it's kind of hard to get them in the right place, and they will just move around very easily. And of course, you can rotate his head around, make him look back and forth. Here's like the bag. I'm not sure why they have those random brown pieces in there. Overall, I think this set is serviceable enough for the first LEGO Fantastic Four set ever. The figures are a little weak in my opinion, however, it makes up with that with the fantastic LEGO Galactus build. Now, even I think $60 is a little steep for this set. Should have been more like $50 at max. But again, it is the first LEGO Fantastic Four set ever. And that's really cool considering how big of a part they are in the Marvel Universe. Alright everyone, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out the other videos on my channel, and like and hit the subscribe button. See you next time.